Ryan sucks dick.
I'm leaving that in. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Small Talk episode 44. This is the Smallville podcast here on this channel. I'm one third of your co-host. My name is Ryan Cam. We are back after a week's hiatus. Thank you all for checking out the best of episode. That was a lot of fun to put together. But I am joined as always from 3D Movie Cinema. It is Jacob Collins. Jacob, how you doing?
I am doing fantastic. I'm really excited to talk about these three fantastic episodes. One that Ryan says the first one is Ryan's favorite episode of all time. He said even better than the whole series. And Ryan said this is like three of the best episodes he's ever seen. Matt, I don't know how you feel about these episodes, so let's tell us which one do you think's your favorite, which one's your least favorite.
I mean, the three episodes were really good. I'm gonna say Fallout's the best one, and my least favorite. I mean, they're not bad, but I'm gonna say Rage is my least
Ray,
favorite. But it's not bad. It's still like there's still some good episodes. But
really?
yeah, I'm gonna say Rage is my least favorite.
I agree with you on one point. Okay, I do agree. My favorite episode is Fallout as well. Okay, I agree with you on that. I disagree with you. Think like Rage. I will say I do think like both of the episodes are like those the two bottom of the barrel episodes. I honestly think the Final Destination shit is a little what kind of threw me
It
off of
was
that last time.
the Final Destination one was a little bit of a far
I'm like,
fetch,
this is just Final Destination. It's literally in Canada too. It's literally Canada, where the movie.
but I did dig that we got a little bit more of the history between Oliver and Lex and why they're so like at it with one another and why they hate each other so much. We've seen their history.
By the way, did that kid, the guy who played young Oliver, was just a bad actor? Like that dude was just a
I didn't
bad.
think he was all that bad.
I just
I
did.
did.
Stop, guys, stop. I'm like, they literally put the eye contacts in his eyes to match Justin Hartley. And the guy, I'm like, he doesn't even look like Justin Hartley. Like, he literally, they dyed his hair blonde to match Justin Hartley. And then they put eye contacts and fake teeth. And I'm just like, I can't understand why, but like, why does he have contacts? I mean, it's fine if he doesn't have the exact. They just, have you noticed the shade that I hated the cinematography of the way it was the flashbacks were shot. I'm like, that's the shittiest film grain I've ever seen in the show.
Well, we'll touch on that in just a beat. But Matt Wyatt, how you doing?
Doing good. I'm excited to get in these three episodes. And yeah, we took a little bit of a long hiatus break.
Yeah, just a little bit, just to take a bit of a load off. But because we just because we took a break doesn't mean that Superman took a break. Because touching briefly on the set photos that have been released from what I have now been told is now not called Superman Legacy, just Superman. Okay, that's going to be real confusing come time of release of that movie's release. But we got new set photos, folks, of Superman, David Cornsweet in the suit. We got Nicholas Hoult in full bald glory. We got Superman getting arrested, which I'm sure is going to make a certain section of the fan base really happy. I love these photos. I like just looking at them. I'm just like it's that like one Aziz Ansari thing where he's like, I've been looking at this for 7 hours. It's so beautiful. But it's just like I look at this and keep in mind, haven't seen any trailers yet, so we got to keep that in mind. I think just from the photos, this is looking really, really, really good.
I think honestly, I'm really looking forward to this movie. I look, I like what Zack Snyder did with his universe. And I'm a huge Man of Steel fan, and I love Man of Steel. I like the extended cut of Batman vs Superman. Don't like the theatrical cut, and I like Zack Snyder's Justice League. And look, I love Henry Cavill as Superman. I think he's a great Superman. And this look, I'm a huge Superman fan to begin with, so like I love Man of Steel, and that's not going to change. This movie's not going to change my view. I'm not going to say, oh, Man of Steel sucks now because this movie. I'm just saying I am not. I literally am a not a Snyder. I'm not a Snyder. Like I don't jerk off to the pictures of Zack Snyder. I literally just I'm not like Ryan who sucks off James Gunn all the time. Every time he makes like, oh, James Gunn. Oh yeah. He's did Guardians 3. Oh, right over my face, neck, and chest. But no. I literally I like this. I like the set photos I'm seeing. Rick Flag Sr. I'm really hoping that that Peacemaker season 2 he gets revenge on Peacemaker for killing his son in the Suicide Squad. I know James Gunn said that Peacemaker season 1's not canon, but he didn't say like the Suicide Squad's not canon. He didn't say that that scene's not canon. He just said like season 1 did not happen. That's what he's just basically saying. But he did say that there are things that did happen, elements that did happen in the show. So I'm excited to see what we get with Rick Flag Sr. We were all joking before off camera about what if this is going to be the Rick Flag universe, because James Gunn did say, because he's going to appear in 3 different projects, Rick Flag is. He's going to appear in Creature Commandos, this, and Peacemaker season 2. And we're like, what if he appears in everything? What if he appears in Lanterns next? And he appears in Super Friends, and then he appears somehow in Themyscira like a statue of him. Or something, we're like just joking around that says, this is the Flag universe. It just then Ryan made a joke about what if it's then he does like a period piece called Flag Day, so
Oh, a
we're all
deconstructionist piece called Flag Day or something.
yeah. Which look, I'm really excited for Superman Legacy. I think David Corenswet is going to crush it as Superman. I'm excited to see Nicholas Hoult. I know some people were mad that the set photo they saw they didn't like with him scars over his face, and I'm like, you haven't seen him as Lex Luthor. You saw a picture of him in a hoodie from a set. It's not even a hoodie. It's literally they had a garbage bag over him to escort him to his shooting scene. So I'm like, you really can't even judge him off that, because that's literally, these are set photos. You can't judge somebody off that. I mean, people were shitting on, like I remember I was literally in the camp like, oh, the Suicide Squad, the set photos are awful. And then I watched the movie. I'm like, this is amazing. So I'm like, look, give it a chance. Look, if you don't like it, you don't have to like it. But I'm saying give it a fair chance. If you don't like it, okay, it's fine. At least you gave it a chance. Don't be like these people with the Acolyte. We were just bashing the show before it came out and still bashing the show.
Jacob, don't say that. Nerdrotic, like that's their entire content schedule.
I mean, to be fair, did you know the reason why people do that is because hate content makes more views, and that's why it makes them more money. And so they get it. They even if they like something, they're never going to tell you they like it because they get more views for bashing something.
That's the world we live in the YouTube content world.
Yeah, like most people.
That's why the people, the haters, they're the dark side. It's easy and seductive.
Got to get that Susan Wojcicki money or that Elon Musk money. If you know, you know. But what did you all think of the set photos? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to read what you have to say. And before we jump in, if you like this video, leave a like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications. We do this every Tuesday, so be on the lookout because we are in season 6 and we've still got a ways to go yet. So the train's not stopping. So let's jump in with both feet. This is season 6, episode 5, called Final Destination 7. Wait a minute. No, that's wrong. Reunion.
Are you okay?
Bad dream.
You think Lex killed him?
I've seen who he really is.
We've all done things we're not proud of.
What is it you've been hiding, Oliver?
I killed him.
Living with the consequences. It's not easy.
Smallville. All new episode next Thursday on the new CW.
Classmates from Lex and Oliver's reunion begin to die, and they begin to blame each other. So, yeah, this is essentially a Final Destination movie. It's even shot in Canada, like Collins pointed out before we went live. This is the least favorite of the 3. This one wasn't bad per se, but it wasn't particularly great. Jacob, what do you think?
I like the opening kill whenever like this, like he's like, oh, like I just thought the one that was stupid was whenever a piece of debris falls, it's like, oh, and everyone's like, oh my god, debris fell. Like it's almost like they were like it didn't even feel real. Like it didn't fall, and then people like you see everybody it just fell, and then people were like, oh, there's a cue to run, and I'm like, what is this? Like, and he's like, oh, it didn't get me, and all of a sudden the sword falls and kills him. I'm like, well, that actually was clever. I did that was like. And I will say,
Omen called it wants its death back, but
this one actually made more sense. Other than it was like, oh,
shunk. Me in the future insert the Austin Powers clip of the security guard going no as the thing slowly.
Out of the way. The funniest shit ever Ryan said. The funniest shit to this day is Ryan going, I'm watching The Omen, and all of a sudden I'm like, get out of the way, get out of the way, get out of the way. And things like, why? And then he kills like, why didn't you get out of the way? Now you're dead.
That was literally my reaction. I had never seen The Omen, and that was my first reaction to it. I was just sitting there like, you are dumb. You are dumb in this moment.
That is your dumb self. It's like going mud riding and then like all of a sudden hit the gas while you're going around. And all of a sudden your smoke comes, carbon monoxide comes in your car. You don't roll down the windows and get killed. And I'm like, watch your fucking fall for rolling your windows down.
Yeah, I do agree that this is a complete Final Destination ripoff, but the things I really enjoyed is about seeing the history with Lex Luthor and Oliver Queen and why they hate each other so much because they have history when they're at a boarding school that Oliver and his buddies were the bully and he was the outcast of this one, and you really showed his darkness self of who Lex really is when he loses it when he beats the life out of his own best friend, which I really enjoyed that a little bit more. Even though the Final Destination stuff was really so ridiculous. But this whole episode is about them exploring their demons from their past, but also you have one friend who is about to settle the score.
Notable for me and Collins, at least, is that young Lex in this episode is played by Lucas Grabeel, who is Ryan, who is another Ryan in Ryan Evans in the High School Musical trilogy. And of
He
course,
doesn't
Lucas
dance.
Grabeel is still going to this day, primarily in voice acting. He's a recurring actor on Family Guy. He's currently voicing many roles in My Adventures with Superman over on Adult Swim. So he is still going strong.
I wonder
But
if he's
for
Lex
me,
Luthor. It'd be funny if he was.
that's true.
I
That's
mean,
true.
also,
Yeah, he
you
did
know
a
what?
great
And
job.
also, I'm not trying to spoil nothing, but we will see him again. Young Lex.
Okay.
At some point, at some time, but we can't tell you when.
I can neither confirm nor deny details of any such operation without the Secretary's approval.
But yeah, like this isn't his only appearance as Young Lex. And he nails it as Young Lex.
Remember the reference that one of Oliver's friends before he got blown up in the limo that he mentioned the name Gotham where he's from. I gotta get back to Gotham.
I'm like, oh, you get it?
Get it, guys? Wink. Is he Bruce Wayne? Nope, he's dead.
Yeah. I all of a sudden, I don't know why, but when I was watching this episode, all I just kept thinking was he was going to.
Wouldn't that have been funny if
Yeah.
that was Bruce Wayne and he
Sonic.
got blown up? And hey, there's an elsewhere where Bruce Wayne does not become Batman because he got fucking killed.
Oh, Bruce Wayne was a dick in this universe as well. I got to get back to the Batcave, guys.
I gotta get back to the cave.
I mean,
I'm
I
not-
always think the funniest Bruce Wayne is the one from the Lego Batman where he's just such a douche, and so he's like, he thinks he's the hot. I always think that is the funniest Batman because he's just like literally just thinks he's the hot shit, and he's like, "You mean nothing to me, Joker. You're not even my friend." I always thought like that is the funniest character. I always imagine
That
if,
was like
there
that
a
was like
Bruce
in the
Wayne
Lego
Smallville
Batman movie. Like, you mean nothing to me, Joker.
I love
That
the
to me-
clip where Alfred's like, "You have to go outside and meet people." No, 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 no,
No,
no,
no,
No. Even make some new friends.
no, no.
My favorite joke in that movie though is that whenever like Dick Grayson is like, "Hi, I'm Richard," but the kids don't call me Dick, and he said, "Well, children can be cruel."
I love that so much. I love that so much.
That was perfect joke right there. You gotta love that Lego Batman movie that no one saw, and it was one of the funniest satire
did
Batman
okay.
movies.
Like it made
I
enough
loved
to be a
it.
sequel, but what happened was they butchered it by doing the Lego Batman, the Lego movie 2, and then they did that. What it is they did the Lego Batman movie, and then they kind of got greedy. They did the Lego Ninjago movie, and that kind of flopped, and then the Lego movie 2 flopped, and then they sold the rights.
Well, Lego Ninjago was awesome, and so was Lego Movie 2. I'm kind of a sucker
I've never
for
seen it,
Lego
and I own
things.
that
I've seen the Lego Ninjago and I didn't really like it. It's a forgettable movie for me, but I thought the Lego Batman movie was awesome. I love that movie.
I kind of
Shout
think,
out to
like,
Will
honestly,
Arnett, who is secretly a really good Batman.
like at the beginning of the movie when they're like, why is the bat signal being covered, and all of a sudden it's Egghead. He's like, and I'm just like,
Yeah, they totally poke fun of these outrageous rogues gallery in that movie.
Egghead.
Egghead
He throws eggs at people. That's all he
throws
does.
eggs at people.
I mean, honestly, you know what? I'm surprised Gunn has not, like, wouldn't it be great if he had Egghead, but it's like he's kind of like has like the leader from like, or something. Why doesn't he have like an egg-shaped head, and then he scrambles your brain telepathically and turns your brain into
Bro,
eggs?
I wouldn't be surprised with what he will put in these outrageous, ridiculous villains and
There's
actually
a villain
make it
called the
work.
Condiment King who literally squirts ketchup and mustard at people.
And watch James Gunn like turn him into a complex like character, the Condiment King of all people. You know he can do
James
them.
Gunn during the press tour for Suicide Squad, some actor, one of the press junket guys dressed like the Condiment King says, "Hi," and he goes, "How come you didn't put?" And he starts laughing. He goes, "How come you didn't put me in the movie? Yeah, maybe in the sequel. Maybe in the sequel, put you in the movie." And he goes, because it's like literally the condiment. He says, "I would like it. Maybe he throws up vomit. Maybe vomits up ketchup and mustard. And that's like acid. The Condiment King. Can you imagine if because James Gunn said Polka Dot Man, he had no idea who Polka Dot Man was until literally he Googled what is the least fascinating character of all time as a Polka Dot Man, because he just shoots polka dots at people. And so James Gunn's like, he's going to be the complex character.
And they made a joke about it too. Like, yeah, he definitely does throw up polka dots at people.
I mean, to be fair, that is a great character. I love.
Yeah, I loved him, and they made it work. I wouldn't be surprised if he puts Batmite in his own DCU.
Who was the worst character, worst Batman villain to you?
To be honest, like I'm kind of rewatching Batman the animated series, and in another life I would be like, say, oh, Clayface, but then they just did the 2-part like Clayface episodes there. I'm like, Clayface is secretly really good. Dang it! Like Batman is kind of greedy in that he has all the best villains like Joker, Mr. Freeze, Two-Face, like Scarecrow,
surprisingly, like Superman barely has any of the best rogues gallery.
Do you know that Batman the animated series, Mr. Freeze he did not have the wife arc nor a Freeze arc. None of that stuff was in there originally. Like that was not in the comics or nothing. Mr. Freeze is just a henchman, a bad guy that froze people. That was it. And so when they made Batman the animated series, they revamped his origin. So what if he's like a scientist who froze himself, accidentally trying to cure his wife's disease, and then he accidentally became this monster? And it's like, it's about kind of like, it's the beast trying to cure beauty in a way, where it's like Frankenstein's monster trying to cure his bride, and they were like, they thought they approached it like that, and literally it got them an Emmy nomination. Heart of Ice got them an Emmy nomination.
Harley Quinn was not originally in the comics. She was invented from the animated show.
That's like the best. It's like the best intro, that Heart of Ice episode, where it's like, "This is how I will always remember you, frozen, untouched with your beauty," and then it's just like that whole monologue.
I literally thought you were doing a Bane impersonation with Dark Knight Rises.
No, I knew.
I don't remember you.
That's what Mr. Freeze sounds like. All of this and more on our new spin-off show, Batman Talk, or Man Talk, or Bat Talk,
Bat
Bat Talk. There it is. But
so Smallville.
We do need to touch a little bit
back to Smallville.
So Final Destination. Basically, I do like that Lex was a kind of a dick to Lionel. Lionel come in and like Lex is like, well, he says, "Are you okay, son?" "Well, nothing that some dry cleaning won't cure." Like he said, I'm like, oh.
Like he's even more of a dick to him now than ever.
I mean, it's like, not coming from a bad place either. It's like, the thing I love about this show is that it doesn't betray any of the status quos and relationships that have been set. It is like Lionel was just awful to Lex growing up, and now that like Lionel's turned a page, like that doesn't mean that Lex has just been like, oh, all is forgiven. Like Lex is in full on like, I might forgive, but I will never forget mode. And that's something that I appreciate.
I liked how that Lex was like, oh, we're going to work together. Can you imagine if it would have been like with Lex and Duncan in like a buddy show? I imagine just like, hey, imagine it's like a sitcom with them two are working together.
Or be like from Marvel's Daredevil, Nelson Murdoch working out of the firm.
This is interesting. It is like Duncan was never brought up before or after this, I guess for a reason. I'm just sitting there like,
Dunkin' Donuts.
I was literally just thinking Dunkin' Donuts. You read my mind. But I was just sitting there like, this, like, talk about
someone like Dunkin' Donuts and they're pitching names. What should be his name? I don't know. Dunkin'. I mean, at least his name wasn't Tim, okay? Like Tim Hortons, because they're in Canada. And then all of a sudden, the young Lex sees Oliver stealing, and then he uses that to his advantage. Like, I like how Lex sees this as an opportunity, and I thought that was really what was clever about it. Like, because Duncan's like, oh, we can get them expelled. And then all of a sudden, Lex is like, no, I want to blackmail them and then use it to my advantage. The Luther way.
Yeah, he wants to be a little bit of hush-hush. He wants to get respect in the school, so they had to blackmail them to pretend them to be friends. It was like Duncan was like, no. I'm not gonna pretend to be somebody else's friend. You either are or you aren't. And like
Which, to be fair, Lex, that only
really
goes so
escalated
far.
very quickly.
By the way, that only goes so far. That blackmail only goes so far, Lex. I mean, like, to be fair, like that's like
He's got to last the school
year,
year, and then he's done.
Yeah, you're literally in your senior year.
Yeah,
I mean,
and then
Lex. I mean,
Duncan gets run over by a car in this.
You remember in Final Destination 1 when that chick got hit by a bus?
I mean,
and
seriously.
Then it happened again in Mean Girls 1 where Rachel McAdams, like Gina
That's
George,
what I thought.
got hit by a
Mean
bus too.
Girls was
Shove it right up your hair and boom. And Duncan literally repeat the same line for fucking Mean Girls. Like, are we not going to talk about that?
I'm not just saying on their blockbuster history this week was Mean Girls and Final Destination because
that was
all of a sudden
like out of nowhere, like you're in a small like area of the street and the car ran over like so fast.
Oh
like,
my god!
Did you not fucking see him? He was right in the middle.
Oh my
of the
god! There's a kid, and all of a sudden turn your car and get the kid. It's like I don't understand that. To me, just made me laugh. It's just like all of a sudden he's sitting hit by car,
and it doesn't kill him. It doesn't kill him. It turns him. It turns him into Professor X, but worse, Professor Y.
I also like that Lex beating up Dunk. I like how he beats Duncan up because he doesn't want. Dunk
yeah, that when he was nearly beat him half to death. Like that just shows you
he's showing
who
his
he really
anger
is,
his rage.
showing his true colors.
He's taking out on Duncan, even though it's not Duncan's fault. And I do like that Duncan. Lex is like beating, and also Duncan's killing all those people that wronged him. I like that aspect of it too. How Duncan is basically using his telekinesis to kill people, which, basically. And I also like how Lana's getting hurt by Duncan. I thought that was pretty great, and then of course
I did like the team up again with Lois and Clark,
and also Oliver and Lex. I like how they're like Lex. He punches, Oliver. They get into a tussle. And then all of a sudden, Oliver gets pinned with his arrows and everything, and like gets like just which I'm like, to be fair,
he came up with a new arrow trick. He came up with a new arrow trick with the EMP, and then he poked joke about the boxing arrow.
It's bullshit how Lois figures it all out too. Like, oh, it must be Dunk. I'm like, I feel like that's like okay. Like I would never have figured out how these people just died coincidentally. I'm like, that's what I would figure. Like, oh, there must be someone named Duncan doing this. Which I just thought that was just, it feels like they needed somehow to get Clark in on this story. It just feels like there is no way. Like the flashback also had some shitty grains in it. Like I just didn't like how the cinematography looked in the flashbacks. It was like too like.
Hey, they got to make a flashback to make it so obvious.
It's a flashback because it's how shitty it looks. It's like, oh, it's shitty now, so it's like some people will just use a black and white filter to be like, see, it's a flashback because it's black and white.
Although they would have chosen a different grain. They would have make it a little bit more grim, like dark and grim.
Also, Duncan's death. If Duncan can do all this Final Destination shit, he literally sucks at his job to kill people because it's like he got lucky the first 2 times, and then the third time he can't.
Well, that was just him. That was just him, like setting up these accidents. And also they use the kryptonite to help him enhance his telekinetic ability. And also Lionel kept this shit with Duncan alive all these years, and he still did.
Convenient.
Like instead of just putting him down, like you still kept him alive to figure out what to do with him.
Like something tells me that this will come back to benefit me later, maybe, possibly, or like I don't know. Matt, say the thing from pitch meeting.
Well, it's gonna be super easy. Barely inconvenience.
There you go.
Well, actually, Clark killed him. After taking out the EMP, blocking him out.
Flatlined Duncan.
And he literally flatlined Duncan. He inadvertently killed him.
Clark is a murderer. His kill count's going up. He's literally almost at 10.
They should literally create a fucking YouTube montage of a bunch of kill counts that he inadvertently killed.
Someone get the dude from Dead Meat on this.
James A. Janice. All right.
Get the guy who actually did the kill counts from other iterations of Batman, of how many times that Batman killed over the years without even people realizing.
Like 1, 2, 3. Batman Return. Batman literally.
So and someone put the audio sound when he did kill it with the piano. Drum, drum, fuck.
I did think this episode was just. It feels like Miller and Goff just watched Final Destination and Mean Girls and said, this is the episode. And also Romy and Michelle's high school reunion.
Oh yeah, that movie is actually really good. Like I watched it because I watched most of the movies from 1997, and that was one of them. I'm like, I'm gonna hate this, and then it was actually really solid.
It's like they're the three movies that they have: Mean Girls, Romy and Michelle's high school reunion, and All of a Sudden. And and also, yeah, well, no, that movie didn't come out yet. I was gonna say You Again, but then no, that movie did not come out yet.
But it's more like a cliche high school reunion when someone wants to settle the score one another.
Well, let's go to ratings. Jacob, 1 to 10, what do you got?
I'm gonna give this about a 7 out of 10.
All right, Matt, what about you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this is a 7. It's not a bad episode.
Yeah, we are simpatico. I'm going to go 7. There's some dumb moments here. This is the weakest of the 3, but it's still enjoyable enough to where it's not bad. It's just okay. But let's press on now to season 6, episode 6, called Fallout. And no, we're not talking about the Amazon show.
Raya?
A new beginning.
Every day, reminded I'm not one of them.
You're not alone anymore.
And an ending.
I don't know where you stashed the box, but I want it back.
Lex, you're obsessed. The box. And me. You have to accept your destiny.
Smallville. All new episode next Thursday on the new CW.
Clark is thrilled when he learns that his friend Raya managed to escape from the Phantom Zone and has come to see him in Smallville. The two grow close, and Raya shows Clark how to restore power to the Fortress of Solitude. However, Bairn, the spirit of a killer with the ability to control and feed off electricity, no, that's Electro, also has escaped from the Phantom Zone after possessing the body of a street kid in Oakland, California. Bairn makes his way to Smallville to take revenge on both Raya and Clark for his imprisonment. Meanwhile, Lana gathers more information about Lex's research project called Rock. Insert picture of Dwayne Johnson here. Also, Jimmy Olsen returns to try and win back Chloe's affection by telling Lana to find any dirt on Lex Luthor. So yeah, we get Raya in this for her pretty much her last episode because she dies at the end of this, which is sad because I actually kind of liked her.
Don't you think that's kind of ironic that this episode came out in 2006, and this is episode 6 and it's season 6, 3-6, get it?
The girl's name is Raya. Yeah, the girl's name is Raya. Okay, and later they would create a dating app called Raya, with famous people.
Raya and the Last Dragon from Disney animated film.
Disney would also name a character called Raya.
Is that one of those weird AI dating app things I keep hearing about?
No, it's just an app where like celebrities, you have to be a celebrity to go on the app. And so basically like Ben Affleck's been on this app. Where basically either if you're an influencer or a celebrity, like Channing Tatum's been on this app, and you basically have to be famous to be on this app. And then your famous people have to recommend you. So for instance, if you're a TikToker, you could technically get on this app. If like say Channing Tatum recommended you, Ryan, then you have to show your credentials, but then if Channing Tatum recommends you, then you're in. And so basically these like TikTokers, I guess, got recommended by other celebrities. And so there's half of it is either older celebrity women or TikTokers. And so Ben Affleck one time, the reason why he got back with J-Lo is because he got embarrassed by a TikToker because this woman literally went on there and was like, literally, she said she didn't believe this was Ben Affleck. And so it turns out it was. And she showed his personal information, where Ben Affleck messaged her and he says, why did you delete me? It's me. Open up. How embarrassed Ben Affleck must have been afterwards going, yeah, I'm going back to J-Lo. I was like, wow. I was like, that would embarrass me too. Like, just like
back to Jenny from the block.
But also piggyback on what you said in the synopsis, that Baron feeds off electricity. No, he feeds off of nuclear radioactive energy.
Don't yell at IMDb.
Yeah, that's why you blame IMDb for this. And also, I don't remember Chloe going to Lana for this information to dig up on Lex. Jimmy took that into his own hands.
Whoever typed this episode was not watching this.
Who the fuck written a synopsis on IMDb? Did her fucking random just didn't remember how much happened in this episode?
I honestly, this episode just starts out how it starts out. I'm like, it starts out paying homage to Bow Wow's one of his first movies, Like Mike.
I love that movie
Mhm.
so much.
I love
Like,
that
I
movie
know,
too. I'm just
Yeah.
I
like,
know it's
it's,
not
It's
great, but
it's so ridiculous, but it's a guilty pleasure. It's actually a fun movie.
I enjoy that movie. Just
But also,
generally
yeah, it was a little bit of a callback to Like Mike because he's playing basketball in
speaking.
California, out in
And
the
they
projects,
focus.
out in the
That is not
projects.
like a
But also,
2-second
his
scene
song,
either.
his song debuted, his new single hit debuted in this episode.
Bow
it's
Wow's like, so you got to pay homage to Like Mike, and you have to have my song in this episode for me.
But
to
also, his buddy I recognized the actor, and I remember him. He was in Power Rangers SPD that played the Red Ranger,
And
and
he
he
was
was in
also in
Tucker, and
She's
he
the
was also
Man.
in Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
He's
do
also
you
in
all
that Amanda
do you
Bynes
all
film.
know who ran the orphanage in that movie? Crispin Glover.
Yes,
Yeah,
George McFly.
George McFly. Yeah,
I always
George
remember that
McFly.
movie. It's like Crispin Glover oddly is in that
He
movie.
came up as a fucking creep in that movie, don't you think?
Your game is over. I'm just like,
I mean,
you
he kind of came off as a little bit of a not. Oh God, I don't know if I should say it.
A pedophile.
Yeah, a pedophile.
Yes.
He came off as a pedo. He did came off as a pedo.
Don't,
And
don't
he's like, "Come here, child. Come here." He says,
Come here, child.
"There was a
Come here,
creepy scene
child."
now. I just where everybody's trying. He hooks. He hooks them.
I did thought he was great in Hot Tub
Calvin.
Time Machine. The guy who lost his arm, and then you see him in the past that he constantly kept keeping us in the suspense that he would never lose that arm.
Me in the future put in the Big Lebowski clip of Walter Sobchak going, 8-year-olds, dude.
8-year-olds, dude.
But
Oh, yeah, and then John Turturro who plays Jesus in that movie. And he's like, "Oh yeah,
nobody
that's
fucks with the Jesus.
You do not fuck with Jesus.
Do not fuck with Jesus.
I do like the opening of this episode, how they're playing basketball, and all of a sudden, you see a Phantom Zone crash. It showed you that moment from season 1 or season 6.
The first episode. The first
Yeah,
episode.
season, and just like you see, and then they go, and then all of a sudden the Phantom Zone takes over. Which, by the way, I honestly, for years up until last year, I literally thought this was Nemec from season 5, the one who appeared.
Oh yeah. That's what I thought too.
I thought that for years. Instead, it's like, no, there's some random one named Barry.
Well,
And I'm
the
just-
last time we saw Nemec, he got his throat slashed by Raya.
I thought that was literally Nemec, and I'm like, no, it wasn't, because he got killed.
Yeah, his throat was slashed.
And I just thought that was Nemec. I'm like, oh, he's seeking. Oh, this is Nemec seeking revenge. Like, I guess he died.
That would have been cool, dude. What cool would have been. But he wasn't technically a phantom, so he could have shown in his his original
they're
form.
loosey goosey with these rules. Okay, they're really loosey goosey with the Phantoms. Okay,
the Phantoms are the ones that are Phantoms who originally their form has been destroyed and they became Phantoms.
I do like that. I do like how he bonds with Raya. Even though I think it's bullshit that she just randomly shows up and she goes,
yeah, don't you think that was a little odd that she took 6 weeks, even though she got out of the same times that Clark got out of the Phantom Zone, and somehow she waited 6 weeks just to show up at the barn when she knew exactly where he was? But also, I do agree that I love the bonding between him and Clark, about him telling her side of how she knew Jarrell, about the family that he chose, blah blah blah, that stuff. And then knowing that he's no longer alone anymore, that there's someone, one of your own kind, that is with you. And I did like that part.
Like I said, Raya dies at the end of this. I mean, we go into spoilers a lot here, but
dude, it's an episode we're breaking down. If you have not seen this episode, and anyone who's watching, then what the hell are you doing?
yeah, but it kind of, like, she was only in 2 episodes, but I liked Raya. I wanted to see more of her, but I guess it just wasn't meant to be. Like, here I was, my dumbass, thinking she was Supergirl, but I was wrong.
Dude, you're not the only one who thought it was Supergirl. We all thought it was when we first see her. We see a beautiful blonde woman who's pretty much one of his own kind. We're gonna always assume that was Kara or Kara, whatever you want to call her. But no.
No, but we get Bayern almost killing Martha in like a scene. It was like,
dude, how crazy that would have been if he actually did not hear the ringing sound from Clark. He would have killed her right then and there. He would have been vaporized her. That would have been crazy. That would have raised the stakes even higher.
It certainly is a choice that this that this ghost is named Bairn. I'm just sitting there like,
is that how he pronounced it? I thought it was like Baron. I thought that was how he was pronouncing that name, but I don't know.
like it's
But
spelled
yeah,
B.
I thought Bow Wow did a great job at playing the one of the zoners in this episode. I mean, he
No,
could have
he
just
was.
been a ridiculous villain, but he actually like sold it.
Yeah, credit where credit is due. Also, Lil Bow Wow in one of the best Fast and Furious movies, Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo Drift until he was in another like Fast 9. They go to outer space. They build a car to go to outer space.
Wait, he was in that movie?
He cameoed. Like one of the Tokyo Drift characters were in Fast 9, I think. I think it had to be Fast 9. Like they made it like a cameo roles, and they're the ones that build the car that can actually handle them going into outer space.
I blocked out most of 9 and 10 out of my head, so I legitimately just plumb forgot. But what did you think of Bow Wow going, "I'm supersized"? Or like that
That's what she said. Add the clip from Steve Carell from The Office. That's what she said.
That's what she said.
It was so weird. Like Bow Wow was good, but it's just the amount of one-liners he had.
It's like, and now I'm supersized. Like, okay, I didn't need to know that.
Yeah.
Whenever, like, Electro and Amazing Spider-Man 2, that's what it reminded me of. Whenever Late dropped the one-liners, where he's like, "It's my birthday, time to light my candles."
Time for me to light my candles.
I'm like, did Jamie Foxx study Bow Wow in Small? Like,
I mean, he could have. He could have taken notes from that.
Like they keep dropping one-liners for him, and I'm like, is this villain supposed to be like the goofy fucking villain of the week or something? Like, you know what? We keep trying to do hardcore. Let's just go goofy on this one. My name is Barry, and I'm gonna light Kal-El's flames. I'm gonna tear your rose.
It's like the dude from Kill Bill. It's like the dude from the creepy fucking nurse from Kill Bill Volume 1. Like, my name is Bug, and I like to fuck.
Also, I do think that Barry knocking Lex out and destroying the power source, I thought that was really great.
Yeah, but Raya did mention it that it's the brain interactive construct, and we got the name drop Brainiac.
Yep.
Yeah, I also like that, Barry about to kill Martha. I know y'all covered that already. And I do like that Clark summoning Barry to the fortress, and I like how the only thing I thought Raya's death was dumb. But I do like how he sucks his phantom out of him, and like the Phantom's like, yeah.
Also, she could not have super speed out of the way.
I mean, they were just trying to stop him. I do think though,
she just blocks it and gets blasted right across her chest.
Also, I do like the Lex and Jimmy scene where Lex is like, Jimmy just like asks Lex about these questions, and Lex is just Lex truly felt evil in that scene.
Oh yeah, he got a little Lex evil in him.
I love when he
was intimidating when he was intimidating Jimmy. And also, he managed to snag that photo from under his desk for a little mini camera. What the fuck? Is that even real? Is that even a real?
First off, Lex would have saw the camera, and there's no way. How did he not see
that? And also, how is he able to snag that good of an angle? That looked way too perfect in post.
Also, I like how Lex is like literally just laughs, like when Lex he says, "So I take that as no comment," and he's like, I was like, "Oh, Jimmy, you fucked up." And I was thinking that what's that meme where it says, "At that moment, he realized he fucked up."
Yeah, and then Lex essentially gets Jimmy fired, but then basically sent to basement.
Because I'm like, that to me felt like
to the bullpen.
Like, doesn't Lex feel like Lionel now? Like, essentially, because
he is definitely feeling
he tells him,
got a little Lionel in him.
You have no credibility here whatsoever. Is your only reason you're here is because of Lon? Because she's
it was Chloe. It was Chloe. Because Chloe did not really have arranged a meeting. He name dropped her so he can get a meeting with Lex. Chloe had no intention of having a meeting with them in the first place. They're like, hey, no, do not get in the middle with the Luthers.
And I do like how he takes those photos. But the only thing is, though, I'm like, it's so stupid. Like, there's no way.
But also the mini. It's not even a real thing right there in the mini.
He's not even pushing the buttons. He's just literally just doing this.
He's like, and also he got it very perfectly in that shot in post. I was like, what? And also he assumes that he's working with the Egyptians because of the hieroglyphics, glyphics and symbols. Does that look fucking Egyptian to you? Did you not study Egyptian shit?
You know what? He could be hanging out with the Mexicans. These could be Mayan. These could be Mayan.
That they got it from Oliver, and his satellites is the only one that's working. He's literally Batman. You have a satellite? I have 6.
But this was a good episode.
Yeah, this was my favorite episode of the 3. And also with the Phantom Stone crystal, he managed to restore the fortress that went dead for a while, no matter who you're dating. Well, I was like, ooh. But also he finds out that Lana stole the box from Lex, and it gets a little bit between the two of them. And also she gives him the ultimatum, either the box or me, because the box is dangerous, and you may think you'd be the savior of the world, but at what cost? But one question, do you really think that Lex would have chosen the box over Lana? Because they didn't really get the answer.
I think he would have chosen it.
I thought the same thing too. I definitely think he would have chosen the box.
But we got one more episode left, but let's get scores out of the way. First up, Jacob, 1 to 10.
I'm gonna give this a 8 or a 9 out of 10. I'm like, you know that one song? What's the one from what's that band? Take My Pain Away.
Take My Breath Away from Top Gun?
Take My Pain. No, it's Pain from once. Remember the season 4 episode with?
Oh no, yeah, it's called Pain by Jimmy Eat World.
Jimmy Eats the World. Yeah, I'm just thinking that song in my head from Jimmy Eats the World.
It takes
from
my
Sky
pain
High.
away.
No, I'm thinking that song from Jimmy Eats the World from Sky High, like you know that's still on the one, all right. You know, from the Sky High the school dance.
The middle.
Yeah, the middle. I'm thinking of that song right now.
Oh yeah, the middle.
I'm just like, which by the way, I loved this episode. Because it made, I'm just thinking, honestly, if this is a good episode, especially, you got Lex being threatening, and then you got Lex and Lana having conflict, and then you have so this is a really good episode. I think 8 out of 10, or 8 or 9 out of 10 is what I think.
I'm giving this a 9. I really enjoyed it. It was giving us close that Clark is now fully accepting who he is and accepting his destiny. And he was willing to train with Jarrell, but also he's got he's got an unfinished business that he has to take care of with the Soners.
Yeah, I'll go 8.5. I did enjoy this one quite a bit. And to wrap things up, we get technically a Thanksgiving episode. I mean, it revolves around Thanksgiving.
This is technically a Thanksgiving episode.
Yeah, it did.
Something that Ryan never is thankful for is Thanksgiving.
Let's talk about season 6, episode 7, called Rage.
Oliver, you getting sloppy.
I got a lot bigger things to worry about, like staying alive!
When I was at his apartment, I found a needle and a syringe.
Oh my god. I need an ambulance.
Lex could be the next target.
What do you think is faster,
An arrow
or a boat?
Only one way to find out.
Smallville, all new episode next Thursday on the new CW.
Lois Lane is furious at Oliver for leaving instead of waiting till she makes it worthwhile, but ignores that he witnessed a thug attacking a couple and was badly wounded by a carjacker. Clark reads an article about the Green Arrow and drops by, finding Oliver uncharacteristically careless and irritable. His X-ray vision sees Oliver injecting himself. Oliver's a big old drug addict in this episode.
Steroids.
It's harder than that, but it's a wonder drug developed by Queen Industries by Dr. Pamela Black, because Karen White was already taken, which almost instantly restores damaged tissue. But the scientist advises in vain against taking significant doses because lab mice tests prove major aggressiveness. Lex is vehemently against Lana, whose health problems are soon diagnosed, a happy surprise, taking charge of fundraising for a halfway house without telling or his reason for fearing contact with its clients, even on a few occasions bribing Dr. Black to administer the wonder drug to its problem youths, one of which was the carjacker. Martha Clark insists to invite Lionel for the first Thanksgiving dinner after Jonathan's death. This is your brain on drugs PSA. Any questions? Oliver's a big old jerk in this episode. Honestly, there are a lot of people who are jerks in this. Shut up. But
see, I rest my case, Matt.
But
no, I will say this is actually a good episode. Although I will say I do not like that Oliver is an asshole.
But also, yeah, I did really enjoy this episode, like piggyback on what Oliver's now going through a lot of transformation, now becoming a different person after taking that enhanced drug that has ability to regenerate. Because you already know that he's a human being and he's a superhero going off on patrol in the city. And there's going to be one point that he will get shot and killed, which he's not wearing any Kevlar or any protective gear, but whatever, we'll go along with this one. And it's like, what would have happened if Oliver did not use that drug and he got shot? He would have been dead.
But yeah, he wears nothing but leather. I mean, he's
He's wearing a leather
in his BDSM
vest. He's not even wearing Kevlar or any protective.
It's not even gear. Kevlar. It's fucking leather. Dude,
you're a billionaire and you're a billionaire and you could not afford it. You couldn't afford it. Batman can fucking get.
You're not Neo from the Matrix. You can't dodge bullets. You can't do this. You can't go.
You're not Superman where you can dodge bullets or Neo from the Matrix.
You're not the one, Oliver.
And just when he was about to get busy with Lois, which he was about to get some lucky, and then he got interrupted.
He was like, "Lois, come and sit on my face.
Please sit on top of me."
Like, I was just thinking, like, every time I was thinking, like, when he said Oliver, I'm like,
you just reminded me in the movie Grandma's Boy, the guy who talks like a robot.
I want you to sit on my face. Please
get on top of me.
I do like that, you know, Oliver basically like goes saves the day. He's like, I can't get laid. The city needs me. And then all of a sudden he gets shot. I thought that was interesting. And I'm like, at first I forgot this episode for a while. I'm like, does he get shot and the whole episode's him on the table remembering? I'm like, no, that's not it. I was thinking it was another episode, you know.
No,
you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about, but this isn't it.
I was thinking
because you got to remember when after he got shot and then the newspaper broke from Lois herself, then now Clark is in his office and he's already working out and with no scratches on him. Like, how the hell are you still alive? You were shot and you were basically dead. And you left your gear out in the open and the door was unlocked. He's getting a little bit sloppy because that drug is really getting to him and it's making him like more sloppy. And it's making him more like anger, rage, and throwing a lot of temper tantrums.
Do you think it was like it's like the dead guy drug from like season 3 with Adam?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's exactly the one.
Like he just took it and like enhanced it to make it where you don't have to do it on dead people.
Yeah, and also because it didn't last very long, especially when the person who was already dead.
I do like the Oliver and Clark scene in there where he like is confronting him about his drug use.
And also the scientist, how does she manage to use an enhanced drug to have the ability to regenerate? Where did that come from? Where was the source? That never got mentioned.
I guess to parlay into the big reveal at the very bitter end, Lana's pregnant. And that took me by surprise.
Yeah, I was like, wait, hold on, what?
Do you think because it's legs, Ryan, do you think he's just going to come out bald and stay bald?
I mean, whoever could be. Like, do you think he's going to be naturally bald?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, Lana's got a pretty good head of hair, so it'll be interesting. What happens.
That's kind of a weird timing that now she's pregnant. And I know it's been weeks, and we know that Lex and Lana got it on. We saw that on screen.
Yeah. She got that
bald dick of his.
That was the shockiest moment in that episode. I was like, wait, hold on, what?
And the thing that always got me at like the end where Lana and Lex are at their Thanksgiving dinner and they toast.
I love that.
And it's a good scene, but when Lex drinks the alcohol and Lana doesn't, I was just sitting there thinking to myself, I'm not a doctor, but I'm like, that should have been a tell that something was up. Like if I were Lex, I'd be like, she didn't drink the wine. She usually does. Like Lex, put 2 and 2 together, my brother in Christ.
It looked like they were about to make a move on each other. And
they really want
to. And he felt guilty because he didn't want to feel like he was disrespecting the memories of Jonathan.
I'm going to do you Jonathan style, Martha.
I'm going to sex with your wife.
The Lyartha will manifest.
I'm just saying, I still think they hooked up at least once.
They did not hook up.
You don't have that sexual energy if you've never hooked up.
They haven't hooked up yet, but it is certainly getting there.
Well, all of a sudden, Clark walks in when she's. It'd be funny if one scene they had Clark walk in and she does this. She's like, gets up, she gets off her knees and she goes like this. Hey, Clark, what are you doing? And Clark's like, what's happening? And he goes, nothing. I dropped something on the floor and Lionel was, yeah, your mother was so kind enough to pick it up for me.
Also, I wanted to get into the scene where now that the scientist was about to shut everything down, the last time that she interacted was Lex, and Chloe and Clark believe that it was the Green Arrow that killed the scientist, which I don't think it was, because I
No.
do believe it was definitely Lex who killed her.
Oh, for
You know,
sure.
and I think honestly, I think Lex. I
But
really
also,
think that
Chloe still does not know that that's Oliver Queen as the Green Arrow. She still doesn't know.
Good point.
I will say that I do think that I do think the scene, I like the Thanksgiving scene because you see how like Lionel, it feels like all the good people are sitting at the table at the Kent farm, and then Lex and Lana are truly alone because Lex is like it foreshadows how Lex, you have what you want, but you're truly alone still because you're choosing this lifestyle. And
Yeah,
I like
it's like you have everything you want, but not have everything you want. You're a man who has everything, but not everything. That's kind of like
I like
the
how it
quote.
just
That's kind of like the
transforms.
quote from Iron Man 1 in the cave
Yeah,
when the guy who just tells Tony like you're the man who has everything, but not everything.
yeah, because it shows you that Lana like literally is with like she has everything, but she has really nothing because
Yeah, because you don't have a family member, you don't have your friends gathering around with your Thanksgiving dinner, while Lionel is joining practically part of the Clark's life, the part of the family, and even
I was just
Oliver
waiting
and
for
Lois
Clark
and
goes,
Chloe.
I love you, son. I love you, son.
I love you, son. That would be great.
I love you too, Dad.
I really did like the speech that Clark gave for the toast of the Thanksgiving dinner. Right before he
was
started
kind of a
carving the
dig at
turkey.
Jonathan. It was kind of a dig at Lionel though. Like, you're not my father. You never will be. I don't care if you are begging my mother. You're not going to be my father.
You're not my real
Even if there's a
dad.
fight, I'm not calling him dad. Even if there's a fire.
I'm not. I was waiting just for like Clark to lay in bed and Lionel go in there and tuck him in.
He'll be like, Lionel better not get in my face, because I'll drop that motherfucker.
Drop that motherfucker. I'll drop that motherfucker. Like this was probably this is like 2 years before Step Brothers.
I know. That was like ahead of its time.
Like, oh, it'd be funny if though like Lionel went and tucked Clark in. Clark's like, just go in, and then Lionel's like, look, I'm gonna go attack your mom, but I just want to let you know that I'm not trying to be your father, but I do love her mother, and I am gonna wreck her, like all inside. Like I'm gonna get this. Like she's gonna, I'm gonna carve my initial inside of her. Okay, it's gonna have LL. And he's like, you don't have to tell me this, Lionel, please. I mean, I get it. My mom's a young lady still, and my dad's gone, but I get she has needs, but like, can you not tell me that you're gonna go bang my mother? Well, son, I'm just saying, okay, I got around after my wife died. I mean, I have some illegitimate kids, but it just so you know, I'm not trying to make her be. She's not trying to be Martha Luther or nothing. It's you and Lex are not going to be brothers, but I am gonna give her the D. I'm just saying that should have been the scene in the give her the D. It's like which
that's like a long description from what you were saying. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Like I could imagine Lionel having that conversation with Clark though. Like Clark's like, I'm you know like Clark is a Boy Scout.
Clark, even though I am not technically your father, I would like to see myself.
Like, you're not my father, Lionel. You're not gonna. Which, to be fair, Lex is kind of like. I bet you Lex is kind of pissed. He's like, you're acting more like a father to the Kent boy than me, and I'm your flesh and blood. I'm your flesh and blood. Which Lex just hates his father. Lex is like, look, you know what? He goes, I need you to run the company. That's it. I don't give a fuck about it. Lex is like, literally, like, to be fair, it's kind of like your brother that you don't like. That's how Lex sees his father. It's like, look, we may be blood, but we're not friends, and we're dead. He said we're maybe family, but we're not friends, and I don't love you.
Yeah, that sums it up.
It's like, so he goes, I don't really, he said, you know what? I'm like, all it is that you sign my paychecks at the end of the day, and I sign, and he says, we go to corporate events together. That's it. There's nothing else between. I'm like, that's how Lex sees it. It's like, look, like, to which I really will say that Lex, the only time like it seems like Lex is like when Lionel needs something from Lex, or he has like Lionel just comes by to drop a witty one-liner to Lex, like, oh, I heard this happen today, just to be an asshole to Lex, and Lex is just like he's just like I'm just surprised Lex doesn't just say, you can't come back here, which I'm sure Lionel's like, I paid for this fucking. I paid for Lex really can't say you're not welcome here because, well, I don't paid for all this. You know,
But
I will say,
but the deed is in his name.
you know, yeah, that's true. I will say I do like the Oliver hurting Lois because Oliver's just like because she's trying to catch the Green Lantern so bad, and then she throws him like, and he's like, and like
Green Lantern.
Yeah, the Green Lantern, the Green Arrow, not the Green Lantern.
Brightest
Oliver
day.
becomes a different.
You heard it here first.
Shall escape my sight. But like Lois takes that table bump like a champ. She goes through that glass table. I was just sitting there like,
But
wow.
Oliver took that weight, and Oliver took the weight like a champ as well. She fucking hit
Yeah.
him with the free weights.
Exactly.
And then all of a she's like, "Get away from me!" And I'm just like, "Oh, that was so
You
great."
swung at me with the fucking dumbbell.
I will say the one thing I did like, just like I also like Lionel Oliver going to Lex and like him nearly killing Lex.
Oh, remember that? Yeah, the standoff, the
Yeah,
arrow, and the
that
bullet.
Like he was literally shot. Like if Clark wouldn't intervene, Lex would be dead right now.
Yeah, he would have been dead.
And Oliver's
Oliver
a pretty
had a
good
kill
shot,
shot.
lest we forget.
He had,
And he was saying,
"Hey,"
and that was a funny line that he gave to Green Arrow. Hey, which one is faster, an arrow or a bullet? One way to find out.
He's like, hey, Lex Luthor, fuck you, Baldy, cue ball.
Fuck you, cue ball.
But
I wish which Michael Rosenbaum delivers this performance like a champion. Like Michael Rosenbaum is exactly what like he's playing this villain role this season so well.
of course, like this was like pretty obvious statement.
I mean, he's Michael Rosenbaum is just playing this like I mean, I just think that he can, like honestly, water is wet, and Michael Rosenbaum is great as Lex. I mean, we've established.
Yeah, but let's go to ratings. Jacob, what do you got?
I'm gonna give this about a 7.
All right, Matt, what about you?
Yeah, same rating, 7 out of 10. I enjoyed like Justin Hartley's performance, Michael Rosenbaum. I thought there had some cool moments. I really liked it. But I did piggyback saying that it is my least favorite of the 3, but it's not bad.
I'm gonna go 7.5. I'm gonna give a little bit of a half of a point to the ending Thanksgiving dinner scene where Clark and the family are celebrating, and then you get Lana and Lex and the whole dichotomy there. I thought that was very well done. But I pass it off to all of you. What did you think of these episodes? Comment below, let us know. But it's a privilege to do this. It's a privilege to be back in the saddle with these guys once again. Jacob, what do you got coming up?
I got by the time drops the Quiet Place 1 review, and yeah, and of course we small talk every Tuesday, and I'm slow on the video game reviews because I haven't played any games lately. So whenever that'll start back up soon in a few weeks. Just taking a break on that, and yeah, so that's about it.
All right, Matt, what about you?
Yeah, I already got my review up for what was that new movie that I just went to go see? Yeah, Inside Out 2 review is already out. Go and check that out.
Yay.
I really enjoyed the film. I got my upcoming review of the Road to Deadpool and Wolverine, X-Men The Last Stand. I got to edit that video and it will be up soon. I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to go see Quiet Place Day 1, but I really am looking forward to seeing it since now it's essentially already out right now. But and also if you want to follow my social media platforms, the link tree will be down in the description below. But I wanted to piggyback on the Superman set photos that I didn't get a chance to give my thoughts on it, but I'll keep it short and not go on it for a little too long. I really love the look of the suit. I don't care what anybody else says. I know I hate when they make a comparisons from other iterations of the Superman suit. It's just a suit, dude. It doesn't change how good the quality of the movie is. I say just reserve your judgment when you see a trailer and when you see the movie, then you could judge it for yourself and whether it's bad or good. And I wanted to mention about the Clark Kent disguise. I know that Jake has been caught off guard of how he was going to look. The hairstyle looked weird as hell, but I want to defend that because he looks so unrecognizable because we've seen a lot of the previous iteration of the Clark Kent alter ego, and they don't always deliver with the appearance because he doesn't look like a completely different person. He looks the
Like
same,
Henry
just with
Cavill looks
glasses on.
exactly like him.
Yeah, that's what
Henry
they failed
Cavill
to
looks
capture.
exactly like Superman.
And do you want to know? And do you want to know how many times a couple of them got right? I will mention that the
Chris
Donner
Reeve.
Superman, they did get right with the alter ego. They got right with the Brandon Routh Superman Returns, and that my
Snyder
adventures
did
with
not get it right. He
yeah,
literally was
Snyder
like,
did not get it
he looks
right. I totally
exactly
agree with
like
you.
Superman, but with
Yeah.
glasses.
And also, as much as I enjoyed Superman and Lois with Tyler Hoechlin, I felt like he did a great job with the
He
performance
looks
as the alter
exactly
ego.
like
I
him.
know. I will say the appearance,
Glasses, that's the only fucking thing.
the performance was great. It's just that the appearance was just not as convincing, and that's what took us. I was like, dude, you literally don't recognize this guy? Like seriously?
Like,
But that's
Jimmy
why
Kimmel
I
did a
think that James
sketch.
Gunn. That's why I think that James Gunn knows the assignment, and he knows that he has to convince people that he is a different person. You wouldn't suspect him to be Superman. And also, you got to change your behavior at the same time and completely change your look and not look exactly the same. Because if you put on the glasses, like, oh my God, no one's going to know who you are, it's so stupid. But I think that James Gunn is going to do it justice. And I know that the hair catches people off guard because they're not used to that appearance. But I think that was a genius move on his part.
Agreed. But for all these guys, their links are in the description. And as for this channel, the 1999 project rolls on. This past week, I reviewed South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, Summer of Sam, and Wild Wild West. I had a great time doing those. This
I love
coming
Wild
week,
Wild West.
yeah, of course.
I'm not lying. That's a good movie. I love that.
You actually like that movie?
Dude, I could watch that movie anytime. That's a fun movie.
It is a really fun movie. But that review is up now. I'm going to be kickstarting my road to Deadpool and Wolverine. Matt's already been on the road, but it's now time to start my road. And these two guys are going to have heavy involvement in that. Let's just say that. That's going to be kicking off very soon. Collins will be joining me for this coming week's episode of the 1999 Project, where he and I are going to be talking American Pie. So that's going to be coming up as well.
We plan to fuck some pies that in a week.
I mean, Jake, you are the pie fucker.
I mean, I look like Jason Biggs. People say
you look like Jason Biggs, and you might as well be called the pie fucker when you're going on and talking about.
I might have to fuck a pie for this. I mean, that's.
I mean, you might have to.
I might. I mean, I'll have to go get apple pie and just go like.
I'm almost at 500 subscribers. I don't want my channel getting taken down because of pie-related shenanigans. Please and thank you. But
he's like, stop fucking the pie on stream. Can't help it.
I mean,
so
I mean, honestly, we could probably get away with it. I mean, if those two dudes in Miami could get away with getting away with getting with 16-year-old girls and like getting
what the fuck? That's a big fucking difference, man.
Okay, that is nothing compared to what we're talking about. Like, that's just go far beyond.
We're not Dr. Disrespect over here, okay? We're not.
I'm pretty sure that the people of YouTube will get over the pie fucking scenario, but the other one, like, come on, are you kidding me?
Yeah, worst case scenario, you're just insulting environmentalists. A couple of pie enthusiasts at the worst case scenario. Getting with a 16-year-old, that's a felony, bro.
That's like, yeah, that's a total felony.
Well, on that pleasant note, for Jacob Collins, from Matt Wyatt, my name is Ryan Camp. For Truth, for Justice, for the American Way, always hold on to Smallville. We will see you all next week.